coffee first. Hey, welcome back to my channel. This is Christina at Homeschool and Grace. Today is a weekly update for week 17. Yahoo! So I'm gonna start out with letting you know that this video I will not be talking about my preschoolers because week 17 was the Christmas unit, and so I skipped that week with my pre-K-er. For the Voyage of Discovery. They have a whole separate thing for Christmas, and we've already done that. So that was way back at Christmas time. And then for my preschooler, the only thing to update is that we finished up her unit on bears. So now I'm going to be talking about my 4th grader and my 1st grader. And again, I'll put timestamps down below if you're just looking for the Creation to Greeks or for the 1st grade stuff, then that will be available to you. So let's get started. How are you guys doing? It has been Crazyville. What happened to the world? We are doing fine. We are in Oregon. So far, we are not shelter in place, but who knows? By the time this comes out, we could be sheltering in place. My husband is now home from work. Praise God, he's still getting paid, but we're not sure how long he's going to be home. He works for a school district around here, and yeah, he is done for a while from what we know of. So he is not a teacher, but we're not sure what's happening. So it's crazy. I tried to brave Costco today, and it was crazy. The line was wrapped all the way around the building, and I promptly turned around and left. And then I decided to go to Target because I really needed allergy medicine for one of my kids and cat food. And I thought, well, I'll just go to Target because it's close. And it seemed just like a regular day. No one seemed overly stressed. So I got what I needed. I shouldn't say that. There were some people that were stressed there. And I saw some gloves people were wearing as they were shopping. And yeah, so I am just trusting in the Lord because that's all I can do. So let's actually get to the curriculum, because that's why you're here. Okay, let's see, who should I start with? Start with 4th grade today. Okay, Creation to Greeks for 4th grade. We've been finishing up Psalm 23, and we finished also reading Sammy and the Shepherd. Sammy's Shepherd. Anyways, Sammy and the Shepherd, I'll link it below if you're interested. It's a devotional about Psalm 23, and I really enjoyed it because it helped. It gave more background into each of the verse, kind of at a kid's perspective because it's a devotional for kids. And so I thought it was really well done. Okay, and she also was reading through Joshua. So I really like when you're going through the Bible, like they'll give you like, oh, say this. And the Lord gave them a victory at Ai, or remind them of the commands. So, in Joshua, he's going over the commands, and like there's in this reminder to say that aloud to your kids. I just feel like it's this cool discipleship time with my daughter when we're going through the Bible, with both my daughters, or any of my daughters, when we go through Bible. It's this teaching them. It's not just reading it, but actually teaching them in it. So I really appreciate that. Okay, so that was all for Bible. So for vocabulary, we're still working through this. I'm still really liking it, and she's liking it too. It's been fun to quiz her on it, and like we'll go back and forth like, well, what's that? And what's that? Oh, like we'll light a fire. Well, what's that? Pyro, or what's this coming out of the faucet? Hydro. So it's been kind of fun, going through it with her. Okay, natural speller. So I'll tell you, we are still using this right now, but eventually we're going to change, because if you saw my last video, I got spelling power, and so we're going to be switching. And I think it's going to be a much better fit for her than the natural speller. This just I didn't necessarily use this as it was instructed. I'd write out the words and then I'd have her write them 3 times, and that was not sticking for her. So we had to go a different way, and I think the spelling power is going to work a lot better. So we're still working through language lessons and writing skills. We caught up in writing skills. So I actually just let her skip finally one of the lessons that she was kind of getting stuck on. Well, 2 of them. Because I realized They were much more descriptive papers or something, like describing things, and she is much more of a imaginative writer, and I know that she needs to write that way, but I feel like 4th grade, does she have to? So we skipped it. I don't feel bad. So we are caught up now. She is now to lesson. She just finished up lesson 33. So I guess we're still 1 lesson behind. But today's Saturday, and I might just have her do that next lesson, and then we'll be all caught up. Okay, so there is that. And I want you to know we are not actually to week 17 like in our traditional school or, you know, homeschooling week. We're actually to week 21, but I'm kind of behind on my videos. So I'm trying not to reference what's to come, but there is stuff to come. So I kind of get excited. Okay, so that was, if you remember, I like to talk about my school in a cake form. So we got Bible, and we just did language arts, and now we're gonna move on to, what are we moving on to? Math. So math, we're still working through Gamma. This just works very well for her. I'm really glad that she's using Math UC. I think it's a great way for her to learn. With my other daughter, starting next year, we're gonna do Singapore, which I think for her, it's gonna be great. This one, not so much. She needed more of this kind of teaching, and I think I needed his instructions too in order to teach the math. So it's been a really good fit for her. Okay, so for history and all the kind of sprinkly stuff I like to talk about, she's still working through her timeline, and I'm gonna make today a video to share with you. I'm gonna fix her timeline so you can see. Uh-oh, we're losing pieces. Because we've gotten the dates are so wrong, and I need to add more pages, and it's just kind of a mess. So we're gonna fix that today. So Streams of Civilization, I've been hearing mixed reviews about this. She really likes this. Actually, and even my 1st grader has come and sat while I read this, and they both seem to enjoy it. I do let them like color while I'm reading from it, or play with blocks, or a lot of times they'll just color or doodle or get stuffed animals while I'm reading. So they don't seem to mind this. I would see if I brought in like my preschoolers, they would not listen or understand it at all. They all seem to get excited to look at the pictures and such. So, you know, the 2 of them, I should say, that when they are together, or just definitely my oldest, she seems to still like this book. So, and then Ancient Egypt we're also working through, and my oldest definitely loves this. And we were supposed to do this game that we never ended up making. I think we were pretty busy at this time. So it was supposed to be one she was supposed to do with her dad. And now that he's home for a week, maybe they can actually make this. So, but we did not get it done. And she just loves these books, these Make It Work books. So we got one for next year's school, and then this one, and she will just go through and make the crafts in it or get inspired by it. So it's been a fun one. Okay, we did not do science. She's still behind on science. She's been slowly working through it, and now that Daddy's home again, I asked him to take over science. So that will be really good. I think we're gonna get a lot done with Daddy home, and it's supposed to start raining, so we'll definitely be inside and not going out in the back and playing. For art and music, we're still working through God and the History of Art, and I really like this art. I'm really excited to use it next year as well. Oh, this was a warm colors lesson that she used markers. It's not very warm. It was supposed to be like a sunset, and I obviously was not paying attention at the time. So he is a bright pink flamingo with a pink sun. Oh well, whatever. She had fun. It's done. It's done. It's fine. Okay, and then one last thing I wanted to share for her. The Best of Bach. We still are listening to this, and right now we've just been listening to the music, which has been really fun, and some of his songs are very long though, we've noticed. Like, wow, that is a long harpsichord or something, you know, whatever it is. Let's see, what was it this week? Oh, it was just some concertos, so these ones probably weren't as long. But it's been really fun because I've been learning the piano, and so I've been able to be like, oh, Allegro. I think Allegro's fast. Now I could be saying it wrong or thinking wrong, but that's been kind of fun to add. Like if you have some music knowledge, you can kind of say, oh, like you understand what these words are supposed to mean. Oh, and we're still reading through Treasures of the Snow, and I'll add a picture here or something. And we're really liking that book. If you have not read it, I recommend it. It's an excellent book. My kids loved it. They always were like, one more chapter. I'd be like, no, you have to wait till tomorrow. So that was always fun. Okay, so that was 4th grade. Okay, moving on to 1st grade. Learning God's story. So right now she's learning about each book of the Bible and a short definition of what each of them are about. So that's been fun. And still working through her Proverbs. So that's been good. Okay, let's see here. So with each week, each day I should say, there's now where you're reading a portion of the Bible and then they summarize it, and she's actually really starting to enjoy that more. At first she didn't like it, but she is starting to understand and pay attention when I'm reading it to her, and she seems to enjoy that time. I typically will have the pattern blocks out at that time, and she can play with those while I'm reading, so her hands can be busy. Or that's when I've been now letting her color in the timeline, so now that's getting colored in. So we're getting a little more color in hers because I decided, oh, I'll pull this out while I'm reading these Bible stories. So she's been much more into reading them, or coloring them, I should say. Okay, so tell me, have you been good about doing the reading review and after you've gone through, their child has gone through their workbook and then going back and doing the review? Because we have not been very good about that. And I know I should be better, but I feel like by the time she does this, because normally you'll do a workbook page that has to do with the Bible reader, and then she does her Bible reader, and then we do her Bible notebook, and she has no energy to then go back and do the reading review. And so I'm curious how you guys are fitting it in, where you're fitting it in. Are you doing it at a different time of the day? Because I feel like I should probably do that. Okay, I'm trying to find where she's at in here. Okay, so you can kind of tell when we haven't had the best of attitudes. There's no picture. And then we have better attitudes. We get a picture. It's not colored, but hey, I'll take the drawn. I don't know if you can see that because it's so bright in here. But she is getting through this, so that's good. Oh, I guess there was only the 2 lessons. So I'm still glad she's working through this, because as you progress through the years, you'll see that it builds upon itself. And so now, like, my oldest is doing longer, pretty much the same thing, journal entries, or not journal entries, papers about like Jericho, or about the ancient Egypt stuff. She'll be doing papers now on that, and she has to write more and remember more. So it's a good practice to lead up to like what's to come. Okay, so that was Bible, that was language arts. On to math. She's still liking the complete book of math, and it was all about place value and patterns, and she's just getting through this, and she really likes doing this. So I think it still depends on the kid if they like it or if they love it or don't love it, but she seems to be enjoying it just fine and getting through it. So I decided to, on my last weekly update, I shared that I was going to bring the pattern blocks downstairs and bring them out of the schoolroom, and I did, and whoa, that was like the best thing I could have done. I'm going to show all these pictures. Here we go. Ready? Of all their little projects they created, all these things they created with the pattern blocks. And now when I read aloud, they just love making stuff. So it has been awesome to have them at the table. Okay, and last of all, okay, so that was Bible, language arts, and math. And now we're going to move on to science and art. Okay, and music. So things outdoors we're still working through. Again, we just have been reading from it. We're not doing any experiments with it. But again, I keep saying, Daddy's home. He's gonna take over science for me because he really likes science, so that'll be good. And for music, Peter and the Wolf. She's still enjoying that. She's kind of slowed down on coloring the pictures, which is fine, but we still have all these. She's working through that. And then for enjoying art together, I still really like this. Pictures are just so pretty. So which one? And this is what was so cool, because we were learning about camels and the story of Rebecca and her watering the camels. And so then this was the picture, which is about camels. So it just all ties in, and then you do a whole thing about watering the camels and how much it took, and like they're having to do it. And so it's just really cool how it all ties in together. And then if you haven't done first grade yet, there's an awesome lentil stew recipe in here that is really yummy. My whole family likes it, so I highly recommend it. If you're like questioning if the recipe is actually good, this is a good one. It's really yummy. It's a good dinner, and we all like it, and it ties into the story of Esau and Jacob, so it's really fun. So I feel like this is a really quick video for a weekly update, but that is all. So I hope that you all are doing well. Let me know down below which week you are on and how you are handling all this crazy virus stuff. And the world is a-changing, my friend. So I hope you have a wonderful day. And here are some other videos to check out. And I hope to see you at the next video. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.